Clifton Hall. Even the name makes you shiver. It's a name that carries with it a weight of history, mystery, and a touch of the supernatural. The very mention of Clifton Hall can send a chill down your spine, evoking images of darkened hallways and ghostly apparitions. It's a big, old mansion, sitting on the edge of a cliff in Nottingham. Perched precariously, it seems to defy the elements, standing tall against the relentless winds and the crashing waves below. The mansion's imposing structure and its strategic location make it a landmark, visible from miles away, yet it remains shrouded in an aura of enigma. It looks spooky against the sky, like a reminder of its dark past. The stormy skies often cast ominous shadows over its ancient walls, making it appear even more foreboding. The silhouette of Clifton Hall against a backdrop of dark clouds is a sight that can send shivers down anyone's spine, a stark reminder of the many tales of woe and mystery that it harbors. This isn't a normal house. It's a place where scary stories and real history mix together. The hallways echo with the whispers of the past, and every creak of the floorboards seems to tell a story. The interior of Clifton Hall is a labyrinth of rooms and corridors, each with its own tale of sorrow, intrigue, and sometimes terror. It's like the line between our world and the ghost world is very thin there. The mist that often envelops the mansion grounds adds to the eerie atmosphere, making it seem as though the spirits of the past are just a breath away. The foggy nights at Clifton Hall are particularly unsettling, with shadows playing tricks on the eyes and the silence broken only by the occasional distant wail of the wind. People who live nearby say the house is cursed, and that sad things happened there. The locals have countless stories of misfortune and tragedy associated with the mansion. From mysterious disappearances to unexplained deaths, the tales of Clifton Hall's cursed history are enough to keep even the bravest souls at bay. Families who lived there say they saw weird things, shadowy figures moving in the dark halls and ghostly voices whispering in the wind. The accounts of paranormal activity are numerous and varied. Some speak of cold spots in certain rooms, while others recount the feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. The ghostly voices, often heard in the dead of night, are said to be the spirits of those who met untimely ends within the mansion's walls. Clifton Hall feels heavy with secrets and sadness. The very air inside the mansion seems thick with the weight of its history. Each room holds memories of the past, some joyous, but many filled with sorrow and regret. The walls seem to absorb the emotions of those who lived there, creating an atmosphere that is both melancholic and haunting. Clifton Hall is very old. Its age is evident in every stone and timber, each bearing the marks of time and the stories of generations long gone. Its history goes way back to a very old book from 1086 called the Domesday Book. This ancient manuscript, a record of the Great Survey of England, mentions Clifton Hall, marking it as a place of significance even in those early days. The Domesday Book serves as a testament to the mansion's long-standing presence and its importance in the annals of history. It used to be a fancy place, home to a powerful family called the de Cliftons. The de Cliftons were a family of great influence and wealth, and their residence reflected their status. The mansion was once a symbol of their power, with grand halls, opulent rooms, and beautifully manicured gardens. They ruled the area for many years, and their lives were connected to the house. The de Cliftons' legacy is intertwined with the history of Clifton Hall. Their triumphs and tragedies played out within its walls, leaving an indelible mark on the mansion and the surrounding area. But even way back then, there was something creepy about the place. The mansion's eerie reputation is not a recent development. Even in the days of the de Cliftons, there were whispers of strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena. The sense of unease that pervades Clifton Hall has been a part of its story for centuries. Stories of strange things happening have always been told about Clifton Hall. The mansion's history is replete with tales of the supernatural. From ghostly apparitions to mysterious sounds, the stories have been passed down through generations, each adding to the legend of Clifton Hall. It's like the land itself is haunted. The very ground on which Clifton Hall stands seems to be imbued with a sense of the otherworldly. The surrounding landscape, often shrouded in mist, adds to the mansion's eerie ambiance, making it a place where the past and the present seem to coexist in a delicate, haunting balance. One of the scariest stories about Clifton Hall is the legend of a hidden room. This room, shrouded in mystery and fear, has captured the imaginations of many who have heard the tale. The mansion itself, with its towering walls and Gothic architecture, seems to guard this secret fiercely, as if the very bricks are whispering the story to those who dare to listen. Deep inside the mansion, behind a brick wall, There's a secret the house doesn't want anyone to know. The hidden room is said to be concealed so well that only those with a keen eye and a brave heart can find it. The walls of the mansion seem to close in as you approach, as if warning you to turn back. Nobody knows why the room was sealed up, but there are lots of rumors. Some say it was to protect the world from the evil that lurks within, while others believe it was to hide a dark family secret. The room, now covered in dust and cobwebs, stands as a silent witness to whatever transpired within its walls. Some say a terrible crime happened in there, like a murder or something even worse. The bloodstains on the floor and the eerie silence of the room seem to tell a story of violence and despair. The old furniture, now rotting and decayed, adds to the haunting atmosphere, making it feel as if the past is still very much alive. Others say something so sad happened that the only way to deal with it was to lock it away forever. Personal items left behind, now covered in dust, hint at a life that was abruptly interrupted. The locked door stands as a barrier, keeping the sorrow and pain contained within, as if opening it would release the anguish into the world. People say the room is haunted by the ghosts of the past. Shadows flicker on the walls, and ghostly figures are said to appear, wandering the room as if searching for something they lost. The air is thick with a sense of unease, and the temperature drops noticeably as you step inside, as if the spirits are making their presence known. They say you can hear a baby crying, trapped inside. The sound is faint but unmistakable, echoing through the halls and sending chills down your spine. The nursery, now abandoned and decaying, holds a ghostly crib that seems to rock on its own, as if trying to soothe the restless spirit of the child. Just thinking about that room, hidden and quiet but full of pain, is enough to make you scared. The atmosphere is heavy, almost suffocating, and the sense of dread is palpable. It's as if the room itself is alive, feeding off the fear and sorrow of those who dare to enter. It reminds us that some secrets are better left alone, and some doors shouldn't be opened. The locked door, with its sense of foreboding, serves as a stark reminder that curiosity can sometimes lead to terrifying discoveries. The dark hallway leading to the hidden room seems to stretch on forever, as if urging you to turn back before it's too late. Like the secrets inside the house weren't enough, there's something creepy under Clifton Hall too. Old tunnels run from under the house, disappearing into the dark. Nobody knows what they were for. Some people think they were escape routes, so people could leave secretly during dangerous times. Others think secret meetings or even scary rituals happen down there, away from everyone else. The tunnels remind us of Clifton Hall's long and mysterious past, a past full of secrets. What stories could those tunnels tell if they could talk? In the middle of the 1900s, Clifton Hall became a school for girls. For a while, the halls were filled with laughter and learning. But the spooky feeling at Clifton Hall didn't go away. The students and teachers whispered about strange things. They saw shadowy figures that looked like children, but they disappeared when anyone got close. They heard footsteps at night when no one was around. And they always heard voices, ghostly whispers in the wind, impossible to understand but very creepy. The stories were passed around from student to student. Some people said it was just kids' imaginations, but others felt something in the house, something watching and waiting. In 2007, it seemed like Clifton Hall would have a new beginning. A businessman named Rashid bought part of the house to make a beautiful home for his family. He loved the house's history and its charm. He didn't believe the scary stories and focused on making the old mansion a happy place. The Rashid family moved in, excited to live there, but their happy dream didn't last long. From the first night, they knew they weren't alone. They heard strange noises, knocking and banging in the walls. The family would sit together at night, scared, listening to the sounds move through the house. They felt like something was watching them, something unseen and cold. As time went on, things got worse at Clifton Hall. The once grand mansion, now a shadow of its former self, seemed to harbor a dark secret. The Rashid family, who had moved in with hopes of a fresh start, found themselves trapped in a nightmare. The air grew heavier with each passing day, and the sense of dread became almost palpable. The creepy feeling turned into real terror. The flickering lights in the hallway seemed to mock their fear, casting long, eerie shadows that danced on the walls. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind, felt like a sinister presence lurking just out of sight. Mrs. Rashid, scared from always feeling watched, started seeing things. Her paranoia grew with each passing day. She would often catch glimpses of shadowy figures from the corner of her eye, only for them to vanish when she turned to look. The feeling of being constantly observed gnawed at her sanity. One night, she saw her daughter sitting in the living room watching TV, even though she was supposed to be asleep in bed. The sight was chilling. The glow of the TV cast an eerie light on the child's face, making her look almost ghostly. Mrs. Rashid's heart raced as she approached, only to find the room empty upon closer inspection. Mrs. Rashid ran to her daughter's room, but she was asleep. The peaceful rise and fall of her daughter's chest did little to calm her nerves. She couldn't shake the image of her daughter in the living room, a sight that seemed too real to be a mere figment of her imagination. The image of her daughter sitting alone in the dark was very scary. It haunted her dreams and waking moments alike. She began to question her own sanity, wondering if the house was playing tricks on her mind or if something more sinister was at play. But the scariest thing, the thing that made the family want to leave, happened to their baby son. The sense of foreboding that had settled over the house seemed to focus on the youngest member of the family, as if the malevolent force within the mansion had chosen him as its target. One morning, Mrs. Rashid found what looked like blood in her baby's crib. The sight was horrifying. The crimson stains on the white sheets stood out starkly, a macabre contrast that sent chills down her spine. She felt a surge of panic as she reached for her baby. She was terrified and checked him for injuries, but he was okay. Relief washed over her, but it was fleeting. The question of where the blood had come from loomed large in her mind, a mystery that seemed to deepen the longer she pondered it. Where did the blood come from? What did it mean? These questions haunted Mrs. Rashid, keeping her awake at night. The once hopeful move to Clifton Hall had turned into a living nightmare, and the family knew they had to leave before the house claimed another victim.